Gladiators are suited up. In just a moment, we'll have the starting lineup. Coming up next, our GNC1 main event, 25 laps, 18 of the fastest dirt trackers in the world. Chris Carr, you ready?
I am ready.
Well, we're getting ready to do the starting lineup here as soon as they get out there. Don't forget, race fans, the track will be, or the pits will be open. If you can go down there and meet your favorite rider, hopefully you can do that after this 25-lap main event. Will we see a Harley-Davidson win? Will it be a Kawasaki? We have a Triumph out there. You never know. We got 25 laps to figure out who the fastest rider is here at the dirt track, Charlotte Motor Speedway. As soon as our trophy girls make their way over there to the starting area, we'll give you the starting lineup. I'm surprised that the Kawasaki's on the pole.
I am a little bit too, but not surprised. Bryan Smith is a tough competitor. He's a veteran. He knows how to make this bike work on just about any racetrack, getting better every time he hits these red clay tracks. And he has to right now. And in order for the champion right now, Jared Mees, has started to show a little bit of vulnerability tonight. This is the opportunity for the likes of Bryan Smith, Kenny Coolbeth Jr., and the 69 is Sammy Halbert, who's going to have to come from the third row. They're second, third, and fourth in points. They're going to have to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. So just about ready for the lineup. 18 riders. Most of the front rows already made their way down there. Just to refresh the memory, if you made the Dash for Cash, how you finish the Dash for Cash, Chris, is how you get your starting pick on the line in the main event. How important is that?
Well, I think it's very important because part of it's confidence. You see Mees has been running on on the box every week for the last 5 or 6 weeks. Found himself struggling in 5th in the dash, and he's going to have that on his mind as he lines up against these guys. I'm sure they've made some changes in the pit area to try and get him a little bit more comfortable to get around the dirt track here at Charlotte. We'll see if they made the right decisions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment we've been waiting for. The Harley-Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance Hines, 25-lap Grand National Main Event. On the pole, ladies and gentlemen, from Flint, Michigan, the Crosley Brands Howerton Motorsports Kawasaki, the 42 of Bryan Smith. Starting second from Center Hill, Florida, Zanatti Racing Harley-Davidson Motor Company entry. Number 2, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. Starting third on the front row. He is listed here on a Kawasaki, but we know tonight he's on the factory Harley-Davidson. Big number 5. Make some noise for Jersey, Jake Johnson. Fourth starter on the front row from Oxford, Pennsylvania, the latest Motors Castrol Triumph America entry, the 44, Brandon Robinson. Starting fifth, our defending Grand National champion and current points leader, the Las Vegas Harley-Davidson Rogers Racing entry. Number 1 from Clio, Michigan, the Jammer, Jared Mees. Last rider on the front row, he's doing it for Stevens Racing and Hot Shot. It's a Kawasaki from Salinas, California. Rider number 14, Briar Bauman. Now we go back to row number 2 from Mount Gilead, Ohio. The Saddlemen Seats and Saddlebags Rookie of the Year leader. Doing it tonight for Don's Kawasaki and DPC Racing entry. Number 17F, Jared Vanderkoy. Starting in the 8th starting spot from Mossville, Illinois. The Waters Auto Body KTM GE Capital sponsored entry. Tonight he's riding the Harley-Davidson. Number 27, Robbie Pearson. Starting in the 9th starting spot from Salinas, California. Tonight he's on the TCR. Harley-Davidson also has Cliff Racing and Dodge Brothers Racing. Some of the sponsors on the number 80 machine. Stevie Bonzi. Starting in the 10th spot from Acampo, California, Weerbach Racing, Racing Unlimited Kawasaki. Number 91, Mikey Martin. Starting in the 11th starting spot, McGrain Racing, Scott Power Sports Kawasaki. From Blaine, Minnesota, 29, Jake Mataya. Last rider on the second row from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, the John Briggs Motorsports Town Moto Harley-Davidson, number 73, Dougie Lawrence. And now we go back to row number 3, doing it the hard way, coming through the semifinals from Graham, Washington, the BriggsAuto.com Harley-Davidson, national number 69, Slammin' Sammy Halbert. 14th starting spot from Willow Street, Pennsylvania. Corey Texter Racing Cycle World Magazine Kawasaki. The first time ever on this motorcycle. Number 65, C-Tex, Corey Texter. Starting 15th from East Greenbush, New York, BYB Racing, Weiss Racing, Harley-Davidson, number 58, Adam Carpinello. Starting 16th from Godfrey, Illinois, Don's Kawasaki DPC Racing entry, national number 23, Jeffrey Carver Jr. Starting 17th, the two-time Daytona 200 winner, always has a smile on his face. He comes to us from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, TLR Racing, Harley-Davidson of Salina, Harley, 69G, Danny Eslick. Starting tail end of the field from Attica, New York, the Dick Ford Sunnyside Cycle Harley-Davidson, national number 96, Cody John Cox. And we do have a provisional starter, ladies and gentlemen. If you finish in the top 10 in the point standings, you have one provisional start card. Using his start card here tonight, the rider from Michigan, he's known as Hammerin' Hank, also known as the King, Henry, number 17, Henry Wiles on the Zanatti Racing Harley-Davidson. 19 riders going to make the start here at the dirt track Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? All right, so Danny Medine's caught up with one of our riders down there front row. Danny, take it away.
Thanks, you guys. We have the number 3 qualifier, Jake Johnson. I was just asking you, are you under any pressure because you're filling in for Brad Baker? You also have a tuner who won here in 2000. Are you getting good tips?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of pressure there. I put some pressure on myself. Obviously, don't come here to finish second or third or fourth. You know, we come here to win. So it's going to be tough. You know, these guys have been on their game all year, and I'm just kind of slipping in there. So got the bike working good. Crew's doing a heck of a job. Everybody's working together well, and we've been getting better and better all day long. So hopefully we put this factory Harley up towards the front.
Jake Johnson's looking to have some fun out here, so you guys take it away.
All right, so we got 19 riders, Chris. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a lot of action almost all the way around the racetrack, kind of like Peoria. I think we might get some lap riders. You never know how fast we get going. 25 laps, we'll see.
I'll be surprised we get much in the way of lappers. But I tell you, going back to Jake Johnson, this is a great opportunity for him to prove himself and prove his worth. I know there's a lot of good teams out there that could always use a quality rider that Jake is. He's got a wide range of experience on a lot of different motorcycles, very versatile rider, can be a threat on nearly any racetrack. Let's see how well he takes advantage of this opportunity.
They're going to give him one lap to check out the racetrack. Deciding lap, Smith has chosen the inside, then Coolbeth. There's Johnson. 44, Robinson taking the lap. There's Jared Mees on the outside of the front row. Again, one lap to check out the racetrack. They'll bring him up, stage him up, we'll go racing. We got Kawasaki's, we've got a Triumph, and a whole bunch of Kawasaki's and a whole bunch of Harleys. It's going to be Harleys, Kawasaki's, and one Triumph. I should correct myself. That's how I said that. So who's going to win, Chris?
Well, I'm sticking with my pick.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'm not changing. I think Danny's pick, the 42 of Bryan Smith, is looking good. I think that a little bit of this water on the racetrack will help him. But I've noticed with Smith, he's been running his best laps on the very bottom. If he's made the proper adjustments, we saw GNC2 running up kind of on the middle of the racetrack. It'd be very, very fun to watch and see who hit their setup for a never-changing racetrack.
All right, here we go. 25 laps, ladies and gentlemen, the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The 3 trophy girls have a 10-second board. When the track's clear, they're going to put it up, they're going to turn it sideways, and they will march off the track. It is go time. AMA Pro Grand National Flat Track Series, the Don Tilley Memorial. Main event's on the line. Watch the green light. Here we go in Charlotte. Waiting for the light to turn on. Got their anticipation up. Looks like Bonzi's pulling in the clutch. They're waiting. Now we go. The red light is on. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. There are 2 yellow lights, and then we go green. It's main event time. Don Tilley Memorial here at Charlotte, and they're off. Into the first corner they go. Jake Johnson grabs the whole shot. Here comes Smith up the inside. Smith trying to take over the lead early on in this one. Johnson gets sideways. He still leads them down turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, it's Johnson, Smith, and Mees.
Mees, pretty decent start from the outside. We see the 5 of Johnson. They're starting to move up the racetrack. Smith protecting up on the outside line. Briar Bauman running around the bottom, feeding around on the Pee-wee line. He finished 3rd place running the bottom at 2 different racetracks this year. We'll see if he can carry that on.
Smith, your lead of the 42. Now Coolbeth goes to the bottom of the racetrack on the number 2. Zanatti, Harley-Davidson Johnson on the factory Harley goes up there to the 3rd spot. Mees now in the 4th position. Lap number 2 going in the books.
And Coolbeth slots up into the 2nd position, running a totally different line than the other riders. Gets it in a little hot. Bryan Smith up on the outside line. Kenny Coolbeth, this is his kind of racetrack. Kenny Coolbeth moving forward.
Coolbeth
gets up underneath and in front of the 42.
Barely. Wow, they got up into the front straight wall. You can see how tall that wall is right there. Coolbeth now your leader on the 2 bike. I will mention that was the rider I picked. Here comes 42 Smith around the outside. Coolbeth is going to take the lead into the next corner they go. It's Coolbeth, Smith, 1 and 2. Johnson's right there on the number 5, Harley, just in case anything happens between these two guys. Mees now in the 4th spot.
Mees in 4th, but we see Coolbeth kind of turns in a little earlier. He shoots straight through the middle of the corner and then gets the thing turned kind of late. He's making up all his time through the middle, straightening out the apex.
Absolutely. So it's Coolbeth. He gets sideways going into 3. Smith running the high line. One rider at the very bottom of the racetrack is probably still Briar Bauman on the 14. Now it's the 44. Robinson up there battling with Mees for the 4th and 5th spot. They touch coming off of turn 4.
Looks like he got into the back of the number 1 just briefly coming off of turn 4. Johnson slipping up a little bit under the clutches of the number 1.
Wow.
And a great run on the Triumph for Brandon Robinson.
I just want to point out the disc brake is glowing red on the 5 already. We're only 5 laps completed, and it's already glowing red. Here comes Robinson now up around Johnson, takes over that spot, and moves into the 4th spot. Battle for the lead. It's still Coolbeth and Smith. Mees now in the 3rd spot. Brandon Robinson charging on the 44 Triumph.
We see the number 5 of Jake Johnson starting to fade. This motorcycle hasn't had glowing rotors on it all summer long with Brad Baker riding it. We'll see if there may be some issues there.
Also right there with Jake Johnson on the 5 is the 69 of Sammy Halbert's making his way towards the front of the group. Look at the battle for the lead. There's Coolbeth and Smith. They're running each other out of real estate all the way up to the wall. Smith goes to the high side for the first time tonight. He's been running the bottom of the racetrack. Smith, give the lap lead to Smith this time. Look at Smith trying so hard on that Kawasaki.
Well, he's taking that Kawasaki to the part of the racetrack where it'll give him the most grip. That brown dirt up on the outer edge of it is providing him with the grip that he needs to get it through the corner. Coolbeth hasn't really abandoned his line, but Bryan Smith found something a little extra that last few laps.
How hard is it for a rider to change their line in the middle of a race and go up there with a guy? You obviously just saw Bryan Smith go by. 15 laps left. Will Coolbeth switch the line and go to the high side?
Well, we see him moving up down into turn 3. It might take him a lap or 2 to reestablish some rhythm as Jared Mees comfortably in the 3rd position after being back as far as 5th. We'll see if those guys can work together. Mees starting to gain a little bit on Kenny Coolbeth in the 2nd position. Jared Mees with 10 laps down, 15 to go. We'll see if he can move forward.
Robinson's not giving up on the bottom of the racetrack on that Castrol Triumph. He's right there. There is the 69 of Sammy Halbert in the 5th spot. Jake Johnson now all the way back to 6th. Van de Kooi 7th. Bonzi's 8th. Red flag is coming out. There's a rider down in turn number 3. So rider down in turn number 3. It is one of the Kawasaki's. It's the 23 of Jeffrey Carver.
And going down, he dropped a little bit of fluids just in the area of him going down.
Possibly the radiator fluid. He's reaching down trying to hit that kill switch, and he's off the motorcycle now. He sits back down to the 23, Jeffrey Carver Jr., and he has fluid coming out of the motorcycle. I would think that would be radiator fluid.
Most likely with it laying on its side right there. We see some of the fluid starting to leak forward. You know, unfortunate incident for Carver. I fell down in this very same spot, and it was gas that came out of my motorcycle, and the thing caught on fire. So, you know, good of Moorhead to pick the motorcycle up. Not sure what the source of fluid is, but
I believe
sure
it's
is
the radiator.
hot.
Yeah, it's definitely hot, and it's coming out of the radiator. Carver was up on his feet, and he's sitting back down now trying to gather his thoughts. They're trying to keep up everybody off of where the fluid on the racetrack. So we're going to have a short break, I believe, to do some cleanup. This is a good break for the riders that have a short break. They're going to gather themselves. They're not allowed to work on their motorcycles at this point.
Not allowed to touch their motorcycles on the half miles. If we were at a mile track, they might be allowed to put a little bit of fuel in. But these guys are going to have a little bit of cleanup here with some of the fluids on the racetrack, and we should get going here pretty quickly.
All right, let's talk about the race, what we've seen so far in the first 11 laps. We saw Coolbeth lead for a while. Now we see Bryan Smith, who is out front. Last time by, he was ahead by 0.87 seconds, almost a full second ahead of Coolbeth. So this will give Coolbeth a time to regroup, and I believe Danny Medin's actually caught up to our leader, Bryan Smith. Danny, take it away.
All right, thanks you guys. Bryan Smith, you are using all of this racetrack, not just the bottom. What is going to be the strategy to take the win here tonight?
Just keep doing what I'm doing. It's going to be a scrap no matter what, I think. When you're leading, you never like to see a red flag, so bummed, but hey, we can do it again. That's what we're paid the big bucks for, right?
Did you make any changes from all the heat wins, or are you just running what you had?
We made a little change before the dash, and it was good in the dash, and track's a lot different now, but it's working all right now, too.
So is it patience or aggression out here in Charlotte?
The fine line of both. It's like splitting a hair. You want to go hard, but not too hard.
All right, race fans, I think you just heard it. Flat track is pretty much the best. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
All right, sounds good. So let's take a look. Jeffrey Carver is up on his feet. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Jeffrey Carver, the 23, going down hard in turn number 3. Obviously, the bike looks like it's a little worse off than Jeffrey is. He's getting a clean towel to wipe his face off, and I'm not sure if it looked like a lot of radiator fluid was lost, so his race might be done.
Not sure at all. We'll see when he lines up, but glad to see him on his feet. His father, Jeff Sr., there talking to his son. I think they're all just making sure there isn't anything, it didn't bump his head or anything like that, but I think he's going to be okay.
So we will have another staggered restart with Smith at the point, Coolbeth in the 2 spot, Mees starting 3rd, Brandon Robinson 4th, and Sammy Halberts came from deep in the field from the 3rd row all the way up to a 5th spot. Jake Johnson, this might give him a chance to let those rear brake pads cool off a little bit.
I think that'd be a good opportunity for him. But one of the things I see, the lap times, the very last lap before the red flag came out, Bryan Smith at the front turns a lap of 20.549. Those were the fastest laps of the night so far, faster than he did in the opening practice session, which were fast up until this point. Bryan Smith, the rest of these riders, going to have to rethink their strategy. If he can continue on that line unimpeded, they're going to have the race of their life to run him down. So
you new fans, this is dirt track, and these riders actually wear a steel shoe on their left boot. That's how they slide into the corners, and Jeffrey Carver, the rider that went down, we did a little video with Jeffrey Carver and Light Shoe made up there in Sturgis, South Dakota. Check it out.
I'm Jeffrey Carver, national number 23, and this is my steel shoe. Steel shoes have been around in flat track racing for a very long time. The main reason for the steel shoe is so that your foot does not catch getting into the corners. Also, so that you can get the bike turned on the racetrack, put a little bit of weight on it, and get your corner turned and get drived off the racetrack. Typically, a steel shoe lasts up to about a year, full season of dirt track racing. Hard surfacing on the bottom of the steel shoe is what really makes the steel shoe last and what makes it slide across the dirt very, very easily. If you're seriously looking in to become a flat track racer, the best thing is to go buy a boot from Light Shoe with the steel shoe package, come out, rip some skids, turn left, and have fun.
Jeffrey Carver, a little video right there of the Light Shoe. Check him out, lightshoe.com. Jeffrey Carver getting a ride back to the pit area. I believe his night is over because, like we said, it looked like the bike was leaking a lot of fluid, so he is done for the night. I believe we're going to check out a word from our sponsor, and when we come back, we'll have the restart of the Harley-Davidson GNC1 main event presented by Vance Hines. We'll be right back.
Founded in 1966, Camping World has grown from a single store in Bowling Green, Kentucky, to the nation's #1 retailer of RVs, RV accessories, and RV-related services with over 100 supercenters nationwide. Whether you're looking for a pop-up travel trailer or a diesel motorhome, we have the largest selection of new and pre-owned RVs at the lowest prices guaranteed. We carry all the top manufacturers, and our knowledgeable sales staff will help you find the RV that suits your lifestyle needs.
Camping World would like to introduce you to a whole new world. Say hello to a fresh day. Step out to adventure. Explore and discover an amazing world. Be in arm's reach of wonderful. Camping World, the #1 RV and camping expert, wants you to say hello to a whole new world. Visit campingworld.com.
The Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track half mile favors some people's riding styles and maybe it doesn't others. But Brandon, you've been in a little bit of a slump lately. What are you looking forward to do?
Yeah, just been in a little bit of slump, but you know, we've been doing a lot of work testing, and you know, we got the latest motors, Castrol Triumph, working pretty good. This is the best half mile showing we've had on this bike so far, so it's looking good, and you know, I'm looking forward to the rest of the year.
Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. Getting some words from the 44, Brandon Robinson. We're going to start him up right now. 42's at the point. That's Bryan Smith. Coolbeth in the 2 spot, number 2. Jared Mees right there, 3rd. 4th is the 44, Brandon Robinson. 5th is Sammy Halbert. It's still anybody's race, Chris. I mean, there's 15 laps remaining.
Yeah,
15.
This is still anybody's. They might as well line them all up on the rows themselves. Obviously, we're going to have the 42 at the point. Looks like he's got his bike pointed straight downhill into turn 1. A little bit different angle lined up than the rest of the riders. As we see Jared Mees trying to angle his bike a little bit too. Coolbeth certainly wants to go up around the outside. So, you know, reset button has been hit for all these riders running 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and on back.
Well, we saw the restart in the GNC2 main event. Some riders could not get going. There's not traction. That, you know, some people are on loose dirt right now, so it's a lot different than starting on the lines where we've already had some starts. So this will be very interesting. Here we go with the restart at the dirt track, Charlotte Motor Speedway. About 15 laps left, ladies and gentlemen. Watch the green light, and they are off. It's Smith. Lead them into turn number 1 once again. Here we go.
Jared Mees with a pretty good run up around the outside of the 2. Coolbeth doesn't quite make it stick. As a lot of these riders starting to move up the racetrack.
Mees is in the 3rd spot, looking around the outside of Coolbeth. It's Smith, Coolbeth, and Mees on the very outside. They're up in the high line now. Here they come off of 4. It is Bryan Smith. We got Robinson right there on the 44 bike. Mees and Coolbeth battling for 2nd place.
Yeah, Coolbeth goes up running a higher line than he had prior to the red flag as Smith had moved away. We see the 44 Robinson cuts off a lot of racetrack down on the inside, drifts up, sees if he can get through up in front of Mees. Not quite there, but at the front, the top riders running pretty much the same pace, running the same line. We've gone from the Pee Wee line, they're all up on the Kevin Atherton line.
Kevin Atherton or Rusty Rogers line. Some of our Twitter followers mentioned that earlier. So it's Smith out front. Coolbeth right there in 2nd. Jared Mees is in 3rd. Here comes Sammy Halbert on the 69 up to the 4 spot from the back row.
Well, this is the type of track that Sammy Halbert should do well on. He likes running high lines. He's been improving all day long. He's had kind of a tough day as the 17F of Jared Vanderkoy moves up into the 5th position.
Coolbeth took a look. He dived to the inside, almost took the lead from Smith down there in 3 and 4. It is Coolbeth and Smith battling for the lead. Smith on the bright green Kawasaki, Coolbeth on the red and white Harley-Davidson number 2.
The pace is picked up. These riders just drop into the 20.4s. The top 2 riders, Smith and Coolbeth, last time by, fastest laps of the day. Smith still continues to stretch it out just a little bit.
I'm pulling out right now that Danny picked the 42, I picked the 2, and you picked the 1. So we're 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Not in the order I thought it was going to be.
Not quite that order I thought as well.
Yeah.
But let's see if Jared Mees can dig deep. Last time by, Smith, 20.28. And Coolbeth at 20.38 puts a 1/10 of a second on 2nd place. But this track is getting faster.
Running the high line, are they revving those Harleys really hard right now if they were normally set up for the bottom of the racetrack like earlier?
Well, they very well could be. Some of them might have made some adjustments to their gearing prior to the main event, anticipating running this wider line. It's certainly a lot further around the racetrack, but the lap times are fast.
3 riders have broken away. It is Smith, Coolbeth, and now Mees right in hot pursuit, looking for that 2nd spot. Coolbeth makes a mistake. Can Mees capitalize? Not this time. It's still Smith, Coolbeth, and Mees. There's Sammy back there in 4th. Jared Vanderkoy in 5th. Brandon Robinson in the 6th spot. Robinson tried to take over the battle, this position from the 17F. There is Bryan Smith on the 42. 2 is Coolbeth. Mees back there in the 3rd spot.
Last 2 laps around, Jared Mees in 3rd position had the quickest lap time, not by much, but times in the 20.2s. He's going to need, if he wants to win, he's got to get by Coolbeth now.
Yep, Smith has got a little bit of breathing room right now in the 42 Kawasaki. Mees now in 2nd, just like you said. Smith is out front. Mees in 2nd. Coolbeth now in the 3rd spot. They are spread out already, too. Mees made the pass and pulled away.
Pulled away. Let's see if he has anything for Bryan Smith. Smith, the last time by, 20.25. Mees a little bit slower, getting by Coolbeth with 5 to go. Jared Mees is running out of time.
Jared Mees in the 2 spot. Smith in front. Mees in 2nd. Coolbeth 3rd. 4.5 laps remaining. Sammy Halbert in the 4th spot. Robinson in 5th. And right behind him is the Saddleman Rookie of the Year, Vanderkoy. Bonzi, Jake Johnson in 8th. Henry Wiles and Doug Lawrence rounds out your top 10. Wiles using his provisional start card, coming from 19th up to the 9th spot.
Pretty good run for the 17 of Henry Wiles. Up front, Jared Mees chips away a little bit. That last time by, his fastest lap of the race, 20.24.
Half a second lead between 1st and 2nd. It's still Smith on the 42, Mees on the 1. 1st and 2nd, Coolbeth settled into the 3rd spot. 4th is Sammy Halbert and Robinson as the fastest lap is now recorded.
Jared Mees with a 20.14, inches forward on Bryan Smith.
Let's go back out front. There's Smith. Here comes Mees battling for the lead. Look at Smith, our championship leader, is showing what he's got, why he's number 1, and he's caught up to the leader. Can he make the pass? Will he take the win here at Charlotte?
2 to go here. Jared Mees digging deep, doing either way. If he doesn't win, he's limited the amount of damage. He lost a point in the dash. He may lose 4 points here in this. With 1 lap to go. Oh, Mees slows down.
Mees breaks coming off of turn number 4. Just what the championship battle is going to get tight. It is Smith. Mees, another heartbreaker, just like the X Games. Bryan Smith leads him down the back straightaway. Final lap, he's the lead by a straightaway. A break, a mechanical failure from the number 1. Here comes your winner off of 4. It'll be Bryan Smith, just like the X Games, takes the win. Double checkered flag out here at the Don Tilley Memorial. A disgusted Jared Mees in the infield.
Wow.
Smith takes the win. Coolbeth gets the 2nd spot. This is going to tighten up the points battle. Here comes the rest of the riders. Sammy Halbert gets the 3rd spot on the podium. 4th is the 44, Brandon Robinson. Jared Vanderkoy gets 5th. 6th will be Stevie Bonzi. 7th is Henry Wiles. Jake Johnson gets 8th. Doug Lawrence 9th. Briar Bauman rounds out your top 10. Jake Mattia, Robbie Pearson, Corey Texter 13th. John Cox, Adam Carpinello, Mikey Martin, and scored in 17th, ladies and gentlemen, is our points leader, Jared Mees. He walks away. Another flashback of the X Games, hands the win all by himself to the 42 of Bryan Smith. Mees is disgusted. Congratulations to Bryan Smith, the Ontario.
Jared Mees,
go ahead,
tough
Danny.
break. Jared Mees, tough break for you out there. It is like the X Games all over again. What are you feeling right now?
I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be close to Bryan Smith out there. He seems to have the horseshoe right where he needs it. He rode a good race, no doubt, but, you know, it's just unfortunate.
Disappointing day for you, Jared Mees, but you put on an awesome show for these Charlotte fans.
All right, Jared Mees definitely disappointed. Fireworks going off down here, and we have the victory podium coming up next.
Well, I tell you what, this is exactly what 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the points needed to tighten this thing up. Jared Mees finishing 17th, scoring 2 points. 24, that's that 22-point gain, puts Bryan Smith within 7 points going into the Springfield Mile, a track that he's been pretty dominant at over the last few years. We have a championship chase down to the wire now. Tough break for Jared Mees, tough for his team, but quite the break for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in points. Bryan Smith, Kenny Coolbeth, and Sammy Halbert.
Jared Mees' season might have just blown up right there, just like the fireworks here at the Don Tilley Memorial Half Mile. Tough break for the jammer, Jared Mees. Bryan Smith taking home the win by 3.2 seconds. Kenny Coolbeth 2nd. Sammy Halbert 3rd. Brandon Robinson 4th. Jared Vanderkoy 5th. Stevie Bonzi, Henry Wiles, Jake Johnson, Doug Lawrence, and Briar Bauman rounds out your top 10. Fireworks going off here at the Don Tilley Memorial, the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As soon as Bryan takes his helmet off, we will go down there and talk to our winner. Remember, the pits will be open in just a second for you to go down there and meet your favorite rider here at the Charlotte Half Mile. Let's go trackside with Danny Medine, who has caught up with our 25-lap Grand National winner, and is the 42 of Bryan Smith. Danny, take it away.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, how much do you love flat track? You guys have been an awesome crowd. Bryan Smith taking your first half-mile win of this season in great fashion. You got to be feeling pretty good right now. Take us through that race.
Oh, man, it was intense. That's about the closest thing you can do on two wheels to feel like a cool sprint car driver, man. At the hay bales, wide open, flat out. That's probably the fastest motorcycle can go in a half mile. At least it feels like it, man. It's intense. I'm glad. Hats off to the track crew for putting a little water on it so we could put on a show for all the great Charlotte fans that came out. Thanks for coming out, man, and I'm glad we put on a great show.
You had that Cowie to the rugs. Was it going to go any faster?
No, that was everything it had. Every ounce I had, that was everything. And I didn't realize after the checkered flag that I got away from Kenny a little bit. I about threw it away with a couple laps to go. Just kept charging. I kept hearing echoes and talking to myself, and I was like, don't screw up, don't slow down, and just about screwed up a couple times, but knock on wood, I held on to it.
You have an awesome team behind you. Who would you like to thank?
First off, I want to thank my family that came down from Michigan, everybody that's here, thanks for coming and supporting me. All the NASCAR guys that help our team, thanks for coming out and supporting us. All the fans, of course, and everybody that got us here in Charlotte, thanks first and foremost. My Kawasaki did it again. I'm pumped to get a half-mile win on this kind of red clay. It's not my deal, so I'm pretty stoked. Kawasaki, via Sparza, Joe Sparza, got to come and see a win. I'm pumped for that. Ricky Howerton, the whole crew, Jeff Dink, hey, man, they work their butts off, and it shows when we can hammer down like that for 25 laps. Terry Ever, Ideal Environmental, Shoei Helmets, American Badass Beer, and Kid Rock, everybody that's behind my team. There's a long list. Kenny's Carbon Components right here in Charlotte. He's out here. Hats off to him for giving me one fast seat.
Congratulations on the win. Charlotte, make some noise one more time for Bryan Smith. And I'm going to step on over quick to Kenny Coolbeth Jr. You made a slight mistake out there. Can you kind of take us through what happened and how you recovered?
Man, it kind of caught us off guard. We were running so high on the track, and my gearing was a little off, and we should have changed the wheel. But he flat out beat us. He rode the wheels off the thing, and we're just I'm happy. I'm happy. We're up on the box, and that's what it takes to be consistent on the championship. We got quite a ways to go to make up points, and we need to win races and keep these guys behind us.
Well, you came pretty close in that sense, but you have a great team behind you. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, definitely. Dave Zanotti is such a good guy, man. He's amazing to me, and I appreciate what he does for us. Gator Harley-Davidson, there's Harley-Davidson Motor Company, Bazaz, Pruitt Automotives, Race, Works Connection, K&N, Cometic Gaskets, Motion Pro, G2 Ergonomics, EBC Brakes, Trentolo and Trentolo. Thank you, Spectro, for keeping my motor running. HBD Motor Graphics, Strict Gear, Wesco Pistons, and Dragon Goggles. It's a group effort, and it all pays off in the long run.
Congratulations again on second place. Charlotte, make some noise, please, for Kenny Coolbeth Jr. And Sammy Halbert, it has been a little bit since you've been up here. Awesome run out there. Only 3 points separated you and Bryan Smith coming into this event, and it shaped up to be a pretty good one. Take us through your race.
Yeah, definitely a tough race coming from the third row, but I was able to get a good jump on the start and get kind of right up there in the mix and make a good race of it. And then the restart kind of helped me too, I think, and then was just right there in the thick of it. But towards the beginning, I just was pushing really hard, a little too hard, made some mistakes and lost some ground, but kind of gathered it up and then got up into fourth. And then was a tough break for Jared to break, but I'll take it. I've missed this podium, so it feels good to get back up here. Gonna try and make it a habit.
You have a great team behind you. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, big thanks to Briggs Auto and Johnny Goad for sticking behind me, Martin Trucking, Lucas Oil, Kibble White, Millennium Technologies, King's Customs, Joe Matthews, thank you guys for coming out, and Kibble White, everybody for all the support, Enerlon, thank you guys so much. And I just got to give it up this race for my brother Jethro. Heavy hearts running the 69, but we'll get a win for him soon.
You represented him in phenomenal fashion. Charlotte, this is our Harley-Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance Hines. Charlotte half mile, thank you for being with us, and I'm going to step aside to have you guys celebrate. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. Congratulations to our winner, Bryan Smith. Second, Kenny Coolbeth, and third, the 69 of Sammy Halbert, running his late brother's number. Congratulations to our podium here at the Don Tilley Memorial Half Mile at the Dirt Track Charlotte Motor Speedway. What couple of things about this race that really stand out. We had Henry Wiles starting 19th, finishes in a 7th position. What a ride he must have had. We missed most of it as we were watching the great battle for the lead.
Used the provisional start card to get into the race, goes up to 7th place, most likely our MotoBet Hard Charger Award winner from tonight. That's about as good a use of a provisional start card as we've seen all season long, so congratulations to him for making a good turnaround.
Also, Jared Mees, another heartbreaker. Last time it happened, it wasn't a Grand National, but here it was at Charlotte. And let's look at the replay coming up of Jared Mees coming up short on the number 1 bike. And it happened right now coming off of number 2. Off of turn number 2, you can see Jared Mees right there. Actually, that's the white flag coming off of turn number 4, coming to the white. You can see him. He looks over right away.
Spark a little bit coming out the exhaust there. The thing breaks. He knows right away it's done. Tough break for Jared Mees. Takes a big hit in the points. Came into tonight with a 29-point lead. Leaves with a 6-point lead. Heading into Springfield, a track that Bryan Smith of 42 has been pretty strong at recently. It's a tough break for number 1 or defending champion.
So Jared Mees leaves here with a 6-point lead, 158 points. Bryan Smith 152. Sammy Halbert now in the 3rd spot with 140 points. Thanks for coming out to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the dirt track just outside of the 1.5 mile NASCAR track. Coming up next Sunday, the legendary Springfield Mile. We appreciate everybody for coming out here to the dirt track at the Charlotte Half Mile. We'll see you guys next Sunday at Springfield, Illinois, the legendary Springfield Mile. Good night, everyone.